Namaste. Welcome to Akashic Enlightenment. Welcome to the video. Today, it's a journey within, episode 10. We're going to start it off as usual with some breath work. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Smell that? That's love. Rippling into the Akashic records. Today, I want to talk about working on neural pathways that feel uncomfortable. So, in neuroscience and neuroplasticity, there is ways to work on your neural pathways. So, say you want to work on neural pathways that deal with creating art and design, or like painting. These neural pathways are going to be connected to your spine and endocrine system and different sections of your brain that produce emotions and signal information between receptors, so that you can actually build on these neural pathways so that you can experience repetition and consistency that evolves over time. And it's a practice. You have to practice things like art, and over time you get better at art because you're working on these neural pathways, that aren't being worked. Or like, say like you go to read a book, your mind's like, this is too much for my brain, I'm not used to reading, maybe I'm ADHD, this, that, and the other. This is the ego trying to get you off of the book. If you work on that neural pathway, after a while your brain will program itself to actually work on that, and you will be reading books however you like it. It won't be like, oh man, this sucks to read this book, I'm like forcing myself. It'll be like, oh, like I actually love this, and you genuinely sit down and just read the book. You're working on that internal self, what I call the feminine. The feminine has the mind, which is the masculine, which needs to be transcended with the feminine love by being it in the middle, in the heart space. So a lot of us, we tend to go into the bottom 3 chakras so that we can survive through sexual desires and survival. And then it combines with our will, and our will takes that and it makes it only sexual and survival, So in order to work on that higher self, that heart space energy, you have to actually work on neural pathways that are uncomfortable, and it takes a minute to clear out and build up and evolve on a micro and macro level throughout your life. Like, I've been doing breath work for a while, and sometimes my ego is like, man, you've been doing it enough, you don't have to do it anymore. But you get the best results from something that you don't quit doing, even whenever you feel like it's not working. And there is the path where like they have the indirect path and the direct path. So the direct path, when it comes to working on like getting to that God consciousness within, on your neural pathways and stuff within, it is like, I'm already connected, I already am peace, just like this. I'm not listening to my mind, I'm observing it, I'm letting it be, and then it goes on its own. I'm already connected. The indirect method would be like doing exercises, moving your lymphatic system with breath work and different exercises, building up yourself, the self-improver type archetype. So that'd be more indirect. That's how you build up like neural pathways and muscles and stuff like that, more indirect. But the direct way to build your neural pathway and connect straight to God and source energy is realizing that you already are that in the flesh. You already are connected at all times, and your light is always there. You just have to participate in your light, and it evolves and grows, and you work on those neural pathways internally. Now, the external self is the masculine, the physical sense. From inside out, you manifest stuff. You create inside with your imagination, with your heart and your soul and your will and your sexual desires too, because everything's sexual. Like painting is sexual, and being sexual with the canvas and the paintbrush and stuff, but not like in a higher dopamine way, more like baseline love, and yeah, I bet painting does get ecstatic, and your dopamine can peak probably like a runner's high. I've never experienced the artist high. But anyway, so it just takes a while to get in that heart space whenever it comes to working on those neural pathways. And you always, like I said, start from inside out, your imagination, and then you build the house. You imaginate the house, and then you build the house. the soul into the physical. So the feminine into the masculine. And the feminine and masculine both have feminine and masculine in them. So my internal self has a masculine self, and it has a feminine that is self that is graceful and doesn't infringe and stuff and just kind of waits to let emotions do its thing and heal at its own pace. But my masculine external self, which is everything that I'm connected to, I am this body and everything in front of me, because when I close my eyes, my neural pathways and everything shuts down, my frontal lobe and everything, until I go to sleep, into like REM sleep or theta, gamma, alpha waves. So you're peeling back that masculine when you close your eyes, and then when you open it, your expansive consciousness goes and you become everything. Now you're everything, because this masculine sense. And the masculine has the moon and the sun, so masculine and feminine. Lunatic is the moon, the feminine. Luna doesn't mean that it's bad or like a lunatic or psychic. Well, I mean, everything has a shadow. But you know, so your internal self, when you work on those neural pathways and that imagination, and you flex your imagination, and you do skills and work on that pranayama or that breath work or cold plunges or violin or art or whatever, those neural pathways evolve and microvolve over time, and they become something beautiful. And that is the duality. So it goes in, out, and then transcends into a triangle. So it's duality: masculine, feminine, transcendence. So it goes from inside out, and then you get this blissful feeling when you're done with it, and that's the transcendence that you feel. It's like when you laugh and you feel no emotions behind the laughter, that's transcendence, because you transcended the suffering inside of your mind. And the more you do that, there's going to be a state in your life, if you do it for 20 plus years, where your subconscious mind is reprogrammed and healed so much, where it just goes, okay, your ego is working for your higher self so much, like your higher thoughts that keep you healthy and serving others and giving and receiving. And we don't really need to, like, your ego doesn't want to bother you anymore, because it knows what's up now, and it's matured and it's healed, and it wants to work for the higher self instead of itself and take, because it's experiencing such a high dopamine, like natural dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, melatonin high, DMT high, in a beautiful way, that it doesn't want to go back to those lower egotistical desires that it used to be. And these neural pathways take a while to build on, because you are a karma being. You build up karma, and you use the karma that you don't want, and you minimize it and let it just sit inside of the formlessness in your brain, instead of reacting to it and becoming that person. Now you have multiple personalities. You don't even be yourself. You don't do your skills that you love, because like you're just worried about the world and everything else and yourself and blah 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 blah. And you're just in the brain and not even in the heart. The heart's like, hey bro, when we gonna talk? Like when we gonna figure this out, man? Like, this guy up here is like, it's just a past and future. It's not even here and now. It's like, it's just memory. That's what the heart's saying, the higher self, you know. It's like, let's serve others, and it's not going to feel good at first. It's going to take a minute to feel bliss, love, and light. Like some narcissists, man, and borderline narcissistic people have like zero emotions within them. You talk about them with like about love and light and stuff, and they really think you rub it in their face. They really think like they should take away that stuff from you, because all this, they like have like this defense mechanism, because they're in the bottom 3 chakras hardcore. They really think you out to get them. And that's why they make shit make sense, so they can go to sleep with their lack of empathy. It's the same thing for any type of person, whether they're atheist, religious, spiritual. There's a shadow in all of these, and there is a lack of truth in all of these. Because there's even like, I met this guy the other day downtown, and this guy was so like, has such a superiority complex. He told me that he couldn't talk with me. He said he was a PhD, and I've talked with plenty of PhDs, psychologists and stuff like that, even people that are that have you know, that go to college for that stuff. And I've had like a minimum conversations where the people are like, I can't talk to you about this stuff. That stuff is not real. And I'm talking to them about frequency, vibration, and energy. And I've talked with people ahead of their class about this stuff, and they really like, that's what's up. Yeah, man, that's good stuff. I was already on that stuff too, you know? It's because it's so powerful when you realize how your body really works, and how God intertwines and becomes you in the flesh and how that works, and how to heal all those things by becoming super graceful and loving within, but also like not suppressing your shadow and really letting it come out here and there, but like in a minimized way, kind of like minimizing a cigarette habit, or like minimizing a like something, you know, like you'll like say you go out to drink and you done quit cigarettes, you might tap a cigarette and never tell somebody about it and be like, yeah, I've been quit for like 10 years. But that's still quitting, you know, to me, because like the motherfucker's just having a good time. You want to tap a cigarette, you know what I'm saying? That's like suppressing your ego. You can't suppress your ego. It'll come out for vengeance. You gotta like let it work for the higher self, or like let it like feel stuff and like try not to like let it go externalize itself too much and project onto others, you know. You gotta work on these neural pathways, man. All these neural pathways that you feel that your ego isn't used to working on, it sucks. It's a challenge. It's not supposed to feel good. This is love too. Love is not supposed to feel good all the time. Do this. You got this. Stop paying attention to what others want. Stop paying attention to what others say about you. Just worry about yourself and work on yourself and forget about the world. That's transcendence, because you're not paying attention to the suffering of others in your own mind that comes from memory. It's illusion. It's not even happening now. It's just in your brain, man. That's it. That's it. You know? Unless you're experiencing shit in the fourth dimension, which is dreaming, because there's no space and time in dreams. That's why when you're walking down a hallway in a dream, you look to your right and you're a cornfield, because there's no space or time. You're in the fourth dimension. You're experiencing that in the now while sleeping. That's the truth. You can experience those type of things. I'm not saying that your mind is completely bullshitting you, but I'm saying that when you're in beta, a lot of it is bullshitting you, because the heart is on a whole nother level when you're awake. Peace and love to all. Namaste. Have a beautiful day wherever you're out in the world. Peace.